How do you follow that down? My name is T. Siemens. I'm a new member, newly minted member.
What's the T stand for?
T. Everybody calls me T. But a couple of things regarding writing. Dale nailed it. The guys talked about them in their books. I personally, the thing that spooks me the most is a more cerebral, ethereal, intangible fear. With my writing style, I like to bring the fear to the moment where your mind takes over. Because you know what's spookier to you than anything I could ever write in a book. So I like relying on there's something going on, I'm not exactly sure what it is, and it's for you to figure out. And I like your subconscious working on it, informing some of your own opinions. I don't feel obligated to explain every single thing because I want you to kind of kick in and make it somewhat your own. So anyways, we're going to do questions afterwards, is that there? Alright, so it's, my chapter, my writing style, being that I'm probably the incarnation and the poster boy of ADD, I can only really say attention. It's one of the things you were talking about too also, Dale. All the other writers would probably attest to that. You got to have a little ADD to be in this business, because you got to let your mind free and wander, and bang, it grabs on something. Yeah, ooh, that's a great storyline, that's a great point, it's a great genesis to where I want to go with the story. Well, oh, for instance, my story. Anybody here familiar with Mary Shelley? Frankenstein. Does anybody know how the story came to Mary Shelley? Came to her in a dream. This came to me in a dream. I was asleep in the place that's the setting of my story. And I'd been there 20, 30 times. And I was there with friends. This has no electricity, it's off-grid. No electricity, no running water, it's in the middle of nowhere. And I popped up yelling, and they're like, oh, no, it's pitch black in the room. It is 8 other guys. And I'm running around in my door like, oh, I need a pencil. I need something. I need it. And they're looking at me, what are you doing? I said, the only thing I could find was half a broken red pencil and a FedEx box. And I wrote the etchings of a madman popping, coming to consciousness, subconsciousness. I'm trying to keep up with it. And that was the genesis of this. I was very fortunate the story came to me. And that's that whole ADD mindset kicking it. Would you folks agree? All you writers back there? You gotta have a little bit of creativity. Hey, there's a moth up there. But I'll talk more about it. I'm just gonna give you my very first chapter. It's quick hit. It's actually my first chapter is a page and a half. That's that whole ADD thing. Gotta keep it rolling. Down to the cipher. Claying in the night. Can we just backtrack to that dirt road we crossed about 15 minutes ago and set up camp? We're not going to pick up the trail back in this thorny, swampy hellhole tonight. Admit it, you're lost, the brunette hiker insisted to her stubborn partner. Will you just can it? We've been in this type of situation before, and I've always got us out. You know I'm right, the other woman replied, not looking up from the map she stared at in the light of her headlamp. The map reader was a solidly built woman in her mid-40s with close-cropped, dirty blonde hair that the straps of the headlamp had matted around her head. It was her idea to hike the entire Appalachian Trail, and she had planned all the details of the track. The south to north route, so they would finish during the beautiful New England summer. The sights they wanted to see along the way. The logistics and rations, everything. The trip was something she had wanted to do since college, and she had prepared for it for years. When the time was finally right, and she thought she had a partner who could do it with her, she took a sabbatical from work, left her cat with her mother, and started the journey of her lifetime. Her name was Abigail. The brunette was in her mid-30s and built like an athlete, but with appealing feminine curves. Long, strong, and lean. The exact type of woman Abby liked. She was smart, considerate, passive, and a little high maintenance. She was the lipstick of the two. Her name was Rachel. The women were about 20 feet apart. Rachel was examining the current surroundings in the light of her own headlamp. No, you're right, Rachel conceded as she usually did. But we've been hiking off-grid for 2 days now, and I would love to find a pond or river just to rinse off in. I'm sure as hell not hopping into this smelly swamp to wash off trail ground. I know we're close to Route 77. I saw it on my map, and every once in a while, if it's quiet enough, I can hear a truck way off to our west. Tomorrow night, I want to stay in a B&B and take a decent shower and sleep in a soft bed. It's been almost a week for both, and I feel it. Her large pack thumped to the ground as she unclipped it. The pack was a soft respite for her sore, tired bum as she settled down on it. We are not making camp here for the night. The ground is soggy and the air stinks like rotten swamp. Okay, just hush for a minute so I can get our bearings, Abby said as she shrugged off her frame pack next to a huge web of thorns. She wanted to sit down and compare her map to her compass. Abby chuckled to herself, thinking it was a good thing Rachel was a great piece of ass, otherwise Abby would have happily lost her months ago back in hillbilly country. As she sat down on her pack, it rolled backwards, sending her awkwardly flailing her arms and somersaulting in slow motion into the thorn bush. She felt the thorns pierce her skin through her fleece, coat, and t-shirt, and was surprised that she kept rolling once she made contact with the patch of thorns. She had not seen that the viney thorn bush she had dropped her pack next to extended out over the black swamp water. What she thought was spongy ground was an optical illusion. Part of her pack was actually suspended above the water, held up by thorns of the thick bush. Her legs flailed up in the air as she flopped and splashed backwards into the deep, rank, pitch-black water. Rachel scoffed out a large laugh she barely tried to consider. "Serves you right, you pushy bitch," she muttered to herself, giggling. The splashing and fumbling lasted only a brief moment, and then everything was still. Rachel expected to see a very irritated Abby raise out of the stinky water like Godzilla, but there was only silence. "Abby, what the hell are you doing in there?" "Nothing." No sound emerged from the darkness. "If you think you're going to suck me into getting ambushed, you've got another thing coming, sister, and you are definitely sleeping out of the tent tonight." Silence. Rachel didn't like the silence at all. Abby was tough, but she wouldn't have spent an extra second in that sting. With that thought, Rachel was up and moving toward the spot where she had last seen her partner. She went over to Abby's pack and shined her light down into the dark water. No trace of Abby anywhere. Rachel frantically screamed her lover's name into the night. "Abby! Abby!" In desperation, she waded waist deep into the black murk. She was halfway through her final scream when her feet slid out from under her as she was sucked down into the black abyss. Somewhere off in the dark woods, unheard by a living soul, a metallic clang resounded through the night.
Ha 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 ha!